And welcome back to the Rise Factor. It has been just shy, well, nearly over a year since we last had Daniel O'Keefe joining us. So thank you so much, Daniel, for agreeing to come back on a year later after you've been a BDM for all of this time. How are you going today?
Good, good. Thanks for having me back. It's going to be a fun podcast today and reflecting and kind of learning the lessons that I've learned over the last kind of 12 months since we last spoke.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get dug into it. If you
Yeah.
could describe the past 12 months in like 3 words, what would it be?
Wow. Chaotic, crazy, and iconic. Let's use that.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Wouldn't want it any other way, Daniel?
No, absolutely love it.
Yeah,
Love it, love it, love it.
cool. So you sat down with me over a year ago. What feels different about you now?
I think past lessons, Sarah, from what I've learned in the last kind of 6 to 12 months has really shaped who I've become. I've learned really hard, the hard way. There's no shortcut to what I've learned. Unfortunately, I had to go through some things. I had to personally and professionally.
Yeah.
I had to, lose some clients and leave go some clients in order to kind of build and put my attention and time where it's best placed. So I think that's probably where I'd stand on that.
Yeah. Okay. What's been the biggest professional win for you over the past year?
Beating the Woodards all-time record for most listings in 1 year.
Yeah, congratulations. And do you want to
Thank you.
share what that is?
Yeah, I've just done doing close to 220 something this year.
Amazing. Congratulations, Daniel. That's
Thank
incredible.
you. Thank you.
Especially, for those that didn't jump on the last episode with Daniel, go back and have a listen. But Daniel is in Victoria, and so one of probably the toughest markets that there is in Australia. So it's a real credit to Daniel, what you've done. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So another year of experience as a BDM. What do you know now and understand now about what it takes to be successful as a BDM?
I think a wise woman that's across from me on the screen said recently, there's opportunity in every market. You just need to go and find it. I think that's something
Mm,
that sticks in my brain, and that came from you. So I'll give you props to that. And there's no shortcut to success. I think that's something I've learned. I've had that question kind of pop up with property managers in my office, other BDMs across the networks, and say, "What's your shortcut to success?" There is none. It's
mm.
just the simple things done well on repeat, and I've lived by that the last 12 months.
Yeah, okay, I love that. And so then from that and on the back of that,
Yeah.
what have you become better at when it comes to generating new business and building relationships to grow the rent roll where you work?
The number one thing that changed in the last 12 months to make me break these records is networking.
Mm.
Specifically working with buyers, agents, and property advocates. I currently have about 7 or 8 interstate on the go at the moment.
Mhm.
And they're probably sending me on average about 7 to kind of 12 leads a week.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's massive. Well done. And I know you've like I always I have a laugh at this, but when I saw it, I was like, this is just so amazing. The stars aligned. I always say to BDMs, like, go on my LinkedIn and go through all of the people that I used to be connected with referral partnerships because like free for all, right? And then there was a photo that popped up of you, Katerina, and Shri. And it just made me so happy. So shout out to Shri, who was a referral partner of mine at the time, but also is a really dear friend. And so I just think this goes to show as well, Daniel, with the the caliber that you're playing in now as a BDM and actually putting yourself in the right rooms, having the conversations with the right people that are helping you get that many leads a month, not relying on your sales team because you do also have a sales team, which is great. But the
Yeah.
difference between generating those more leads is you're proactively going out there and getting those opportunities. Um, Do you think your prospecting has changed now you know what you know based on where you first started? Like how
A
you
million
approach
percent.
it?
1,000,000%. We had a director of another office that I work in. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I'll say it anyway. If you're chasing the same lead constantly after every single touch point, they still don't reply. I'm just dead leading them at the moment because there's more value in my time meeting these networking people and they're easier leads. Like you're a BDM before, you get a referral from a channel partner. They're the easiest ones to list because number one, they don't care about fees. Number two,
Yeah.
they don't really care about the price of the property. Well, they kind of do. But the third part is it's based on relationship. And that's what I found. An email introduction between the channel partner and the client to me, and it's the easiest call you have to make to the client. They just want to sign where you are. They trust, build a relationship. And I think you look at Sri, for example, like I've met him prior to that at another event that I kind of co-host. So I co-host a networking business called Property Development Australia, which basically means different developers and stuff. And he was in the room and we just caught up through that, had a coffee, and then he reached out to me and said, "Do you want to have dinner?" And I think it's a real thing for BDMs listening to this that the leads like that are being generated after hours. They're not between 9 and 5. You
Mm.
have to meet these clients afterwards because that's how you build relationships.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you think about all of the other things that you'll be doing on a day-to-day basis and like servicing your existing clients. I share all the time. For me, BDM was definitely not a 9 to 5, but I had flexibility as well. If I was at a networking event and I was there from 7 until 10 o'clock at night, then my boss didn't care if I went and got my nails done during the day, because he
It's
knew I
true.
was putting in the hours and the numbers were coming through, but more than just the numbers, the results and the rent roll was growing. So he was so happy with that, which I'm sure any director listening would be the same. If your BDMs are putting in the work, you can see the results that you're getting. You're not going to care if they started a little bit later the next, like
Absolutely.
next day. Yeah. So I love that the takeaways so far, Daniel, like when it comes to
Yeah.
prospecting. I also love your realness with the lead. So I agree with you with that. Like if you're constantly getting a no from someone, there's the chance for you to continue to build other avenues that will get you more instant yeses or those quick wins. I still think though that the database comes in handy here when with visibility and your social media, which is something that you have been so consistent at, like you and your team. I think all of you are being really consistent, so that gives you a greater presence in your marketplace. Do you feel like your social media has helped you win clients?
Massively, massively. My idea, what we started January last year, so it would have been 2025, was we want the clients to know who we are before we walk in the door. Like that's the golden kind of point that we want to hit. But more so with the clients, with the referral partners. Like I'm working with one at the moment that's big on social media. I post stuff and tag him in it, and then his other colleagues in the buyer's agent space reach out to me and say, "You're working with this guy. Can you also work with me?" So, it's that level of you just need to get the first one or the second one and then start posting stuff up and you actually reap the results of it.
Yeah, for sure. And people start coming to you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, with all of the conversations that you've been having, beyond fees, what are investors looking for right now with a BDM? What do they want from a BDM?
It's a good question. They just want someone that picks up the phone. I know it sounds simpler and silly, but it's the truth. I think I've just been to an appointment before this and I have one after this. And the last, literally just fresh, about 1 hour ago, he just said to me, "I've had two people come through. You're the third person in 3 weeks." He said, "I haven't heard back from the other two after they sent me the information. I only picked two people." He said, "I don't have time to pick three." And he said, "They've sent me the information. They've never followed me up. I used to be in sales," he said, "and it's a test.
Mm,
I test people to see if they'll actually follow me up because I used to do exactly what you're doing in a different life." So I think it's property managers that pick up the phone or BDMs that pick up the phone in this instance.
mm,
That's something that owners are looking for at the moment. And one's that going to give them a communication and marketing plan. Like telling them day one you sign, day 15 is where we're going to be at, and everything in between. Like if you can do a roadmap for the client of what they can expect, communication style and level of communication, I think that's massive at the moment.
Yeah, I think what you're demonstrating there, Daniel, is just your proactiveness. So, what I've taken away from my conversation so far over the last 12 months is not just your proactiveness in creating those opportunities, it's that proactiveness that investors want to see with someone who they're going to engage with when it comes to their investment property. And sure, we can all send proposals. Marie, actually, who's one of our speakers at the summit, she said for us not to use that word, which was, I think it's going to be a challenge for many of us. I'm still trying to get my hand around it myself, but we can send the information or the proposals or our pitch, but then what happens after that is just as important as that email. And I think what I have found as well, Daniel, is we get so busy then chasing the next leads, but we haven't nurtured the existing ones. And that's exactly why I'm doing a specific workshop this month on database management, because I find that there's probably, I mean, those BDMs that might be listening as well that didn't follow through or nurture that client that you've spoken to, well, they've missed out, right? Whether it's they didn't have a CRM, whether they're too busy, whatever. But it's like not making excuses now, being really disciplined in if you're getting these leads, then that's gold there. Why would you leave that
Absolutely.
chance, right? And again, you're closing those doors, which is what I love. Daniel, you said something at our iconic event, and you don't need to share it if you don't want, but if you want to share it, please do. But you shared something that just blew everyone's mind in the room, and that was a closing technique that you have tried and tested and has been working. Do you remember what I'm talking about here?
It depends. I don't know which one you're speaking about. So you'll have to remind me.
When you're at a meeting or you're at an appraisal and you know want to ask for the business, you do a particular thing to try to close it.
Depends which client we're speaking about, but you'll have to remind me.
Okay, can I share it? What you shared?
Yeah, you can share. Absolutely share. Yeah.
Yeah, you actually ask the owners if they have a spare set of keys.
Yes.
Yes. And you said
Yes.
that has helped you get the business then and there, which is what I love. But like everyone was just wowed by that. They were like, they've never done that before. So, how do you, like in that moment, Daniel, how do you find the confidence to like ask that question? Because that could go like so many different ways.
It really depends on the clients there and the conversation you've had. I think, as I said to you before, how I set up, kind of how I speak to people is based on personality and the types and the colors that they are. Depends on which personality they are. But I feel like once you ask the question, the worst thing they can say is no. They still want something from you because as a BDM, I don't bring anything and I don't share any information on site. I make sure I send it to him the next day or within 24 hours so I can talk to him again. But as part of the conversation, I just ask for the keys, put my head down to my little notebook and get ready to write something on the page. So it goes complete silence because I feel like a lot of people talk a lot, but they
Mm,
actually don't have silence. And
mm.
if you're actually silent upon conversation, the sentence lands better as well.
Yes, absolutely it does. And also I what I have found with that is typically like one person might feel uncomfortable, right? Like our clients don't know that we are using that strategically, but they want to fill that silence because they might feel awkward or uncomfortable. And so they start talking to you.
Yes,
Is that what you find?
absolutely.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
there,
that's what I find. I feel, yeah.
no, sorry, we've got a little bit of an internet gap. You go, Daniel.
No, no, go ahead.
Is there anything in the last 12 months that just did not work? That you tried and it just didn't work?
Yes, I think I was doing a lot of I was doing a social media video every single day of the week, like Monday to Sunday. I was spending a lot of time because I was manually doing my own videos, editing,
Mm.
posting. That took probably 4 hours of my week. I know it mightn't be something you may want to hear, not want to hear. But I felt like that was not giving me a lot of value return. I feel like I was trying to over educate people online and over publish online. Whereas, one day I'm doing a video about education, second day it's a listing, third day is a win or something, and I'm changing it up. I was doing the same content over and over and over again. And it was actually wasting a lot of my time. There was no value I was getting from it. I've got a few listings from social media, but I was wasting a lot of time, and it was more so just a filler for me not to pick up the phone and call people. That's what I
Mm.
was doing the last 12 months. I stopped it about 8 or 9 months ago. And I haven't looked back since, because that 4 hours, I can smash out like a couple of hundred calls like in that space of time if I can get that time back. So,
Yeah.
yes, that's it.
Okay. A bit of a spicy topic, but I would love your opinion on this. Cold calling is a part of your strategy or not part of your strategy?
I don't call it cold calling, but I call it anything else but cold calling. But
Yeah.
yes, it is part of my strategy. It's time blocked, but I don't spend too much on it. I probably spend an hour a day, I'd say, on it.
Yeah. I love it. And has that been something that has been worth your time?
Depends on the day, but I think if I'm leaving people in a better place that I've got them before the phone call, then maybe. But I've got a little bit of return from it, not major.
Okay. Do you think though, again, I just want to circle back to things that you've shared. Do you think though that you've made the call, then they're probably going to look you up and go, I just had this phone conversation and you're pretty funny and like your accent and all of those things make you a bit memorable, but they probably looked you up, they go on your social media, they're like, okay, I actually like this guy, I like what he's sharing. Then you send them, an email every single month. Do you think though that in another like 3, 6, 12 months time that you'll see that full circle come around because of your consistency?
Absolutely. I think there's conversation out there at the moment where a lot of people think that prospecting is dead or cold calling is dead. But I'm a big believer, regardless how much AI stuff comes out and how much offshore people and how much stuff people can do for you, the basics of the job is picking up the phone and calling people will never go between now and the next 10 to 15 years. It's still going to be the prime job to do
Yeah,
in
I
this
love
role.
it. Okay, what is one habit or behavior that has had the biggest impact on your results and success over the last 12 months as a BDM?
Changing my time block calls from morning to afternoon. So I used to call people between 9:30 and kind of 1 o'clock and then done appointments in the afternoon. Now I've actually changed it to calls from 2 o'clock till 6 or broken up and do my appointments in the morning. That's massive in the last 12 months.
Yeah, so fascinating. And I think for any BDMs that are listening, I think there's no right or wrong way, but you just need to
No.
experiment, change things up. Like for me, Daniel, I was an early riser as a BDM. So I was in the office between 8, 8:30 every single day. And the reason why I did that is I made my calls in the morning because I found a lot of people were on the commute to work or in the car or on the train. And so I would get them on the phones before they had even started the day. And that's just what works for me, right? Or what worked for my ideal client. So just experiment. Like if you're not getting people on the phones in the morning, change it up. Do the afternoons or do the nights. I think that's the only way you're going to see what's working and what's not working. I love that you said time blocking. I'm a massive believer and a fan of time blocking. And if Hermione's listening to this, she'll also love you for that. And it's just like, I guess, taking responsibility for the control of your days when you do that and making your non-negotiables really sticky for your performance. So that is amazing. Daniel, do you think that you've become more confident now than you were 12 months ago?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. And why do you think that is?
Because the work and energy I put into the first 12 months is benefiting me now because of the results I'm getting from clients that I've been prospecting for the last 2 years.
Yes. Okay. I love that. Another question on that then. How long do you think it actually takes a BDM to get really good traction once they've started at a new agency?
Wow, good question. If in my experience when I first started, it took me between kind of month 4 and 8 to really start reaping the results.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Love it. Love it. Love it. Also to take note, we've got a lot of new BDMs that'll be listening. I also am agreeing. So I think it takes about between 3 to 6 months. There's obviously different factors that come into that. I think for you as well, Daniel, like you've had a lot of support too. You came into an agency that would have had some data for you to tap into, and then you've just obviously expanded and evolved the presence
Yeah.
of your team, and you've gone out there and created these opportunities. So again, I think that it depends on how hungry the individual is that will determine how quickly the results come. And like, I also think that in Australia, the tall poppy syndrome is something that is real. But if you want to help investors generally, if you want to be successful, if you want those opportunities, then you'll stop at nothing to go and do that. And that's one thing that I've loved watching you do over the last 12 months is like you just keep raising the bar for yourself, if anything, Daniel. Like you just keep going the next pillar, the next pillar. And so that your then success and results that you get is only determined by you and what you do and the input that you do, the output that you put out. And so I think like there's no real time limit. It's like if you want it, go get it and find the people that will support you and help you get to where you want to go. And I know that you've been doing such a great job as well with connecting with other professionals in our industry and so many referrals that you're giving to other people, let alone receiving yourself from other BDMs and business owners across Australia, which is amazing, amazing. All right, so you've got a really strong sporting background, and
Yeah.
sport, I would assume, taught you some things about consistency, resilience, like putting in the reps, performing even when things get hard or not going your way. Do you believe that those are some core things that you imply or apply to your BDM role?
Absolutely. I think I'm still playing sports, so I think it's something that I look upon every day for discipline. I think I had a coach before that said, and I always think of this in going into a leadership role myself now. I'm looking at it like you get the jersey and you leave it in a better place you got it. And what that basically means is that the role that was created for you and the predecessor that was there, leave it in a better place. I think
Mm.
that's something I've always looked upon as that for me. And then when it comes to reps and discipline, yes, everyone or most people are potentially are active every day. So I kind of use it like the gym stuff. If you need to go for a walk every day to fill your cup, then why can't you just do the calls? Why can't you just do this? Why can't you do that? So I try to remove all the excuses and just treat it as my non-negotiables.
Yeah, I think I've been saying this quite a bit lately, and I heard it from somewhere, and I can't remember who I heard it from, but shout out to whoever said this. Who You are who you are when no one is around you. So when you're on your own and there's no one else around you, that's actually who you are. And going back to what you said, it's like if you are doing the sports or putting in the reps, or you're eating healthy and you're looking after your mindset and you're learning and developing and you're having really good conversations with yourself, then that's going to translate to then how you appear when other people are watching you, whether that's physically in person or online. And so that's one thing that always stops me in my tracks. It's like, who am I when no one is watching? Because that's who I am, right? And so I think that goes back to when we talk about authenticity as well in real estate. It's like if you like, I don't want to like use these words, but if you eat like shit and you drinking all the time and you're partying all the time and you're not educating yourself or reading or listening to podcasts or connecting with really good people, or your house is a mess, then how do you expect landlords to think that you're
Yeah,
organized or a great communicator or have respect from your family and friends? And so I think that's one thing I always think about. Like when I'm on my own, do I just love being by myself? And what are the things that I'm saying to myself on a daily basis that helps me then, be my true self with other people? Um, Ted Lasso,
absolutely.
have you watched it? Are you watching it?
I haven't watched the new season, but I've seen the old ones. Yes,
Yeah. Did you love it? What did you think?
absolutely loved it.
Okay. What was your like biggest takeaway from watching Ted Lasso that would be relevant to a BDM? Because I love it. There's so many things that I could quote from that show.
My remembering skills of TV shows is terrible, but I'm going to say this, if and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was the poster above his door that said "Believe."
Yes, yes, yes,
That
yes,
was probably the biggest thing. I think it said "Believe," and when
yes.
it was ripped, people were like, "It's all over, it's everything." But it was more so a metaphor that
Mm,
believe in yourself, believe in the people around you. Because I'm a big person in belief, but at the same time, my numbers that I've got are not just from me; they're from everyone else that's supported me around the way.
mm.
Um, helping me along the way to get to where I am. And I feel like that didn't happen. It had to happen from belief. And that's how I find it as well.
Yes. I love that. And yep, that is definitely the thing that I love. I've even done it in some of my presentations. Like I've literally got the photo of that poster with when they put their hand on the poster, because it's just so good. And I think it's also a good example of leadership. And as BDMs, there's something to remember is that we are leaders. We are leading in this space in property management. Our teams, the future BDMs that are coming through, or the property managers that want to step into that role. Like you've got some on your team that are ambitious that want to get into BDM, and so they're watching everything that you do and they're listening and they're shadowing you. So I think it's an important reminder to believe in yourself and remember that we are leaders and we can lead other people. All right, Daniel, the next 12 months, what are you excited about?
What next over the next 12 months? I think the next step in my career. That's
Mhm.
probably what I'm working towards at the moment.
Yep. And if we were to sit here again today, if we were to sit here again in 12 months' time, what would you love to tell me and the other BDMs listening what you've achieved?
Oh, it's a good question.
I did say it was going to be a bit of reflection for you.
Probably be a part of the company that I'm with.
Mm, awesome.
In a leadership, partnership, directorship role.
Yes, I love it. Dream big. And on that, I'm loving seeing this happen more. I think sales agents always had the opportunity to be a partner, and I'm loving
Yeah.
seeing that BDMs are having the same opportunity. So, directors listening, take note. If you're really wanting someone to stay with your business, build your rent roll, then offer them a piece of the pie. That's what I would recommend. Anyways, some closing questions. All right, one piece of advice you would give to BDMs right now to focus on and double down on for the rest of the year.
Don't listen to the noise.
Mm,
It's your race. No one will run it for you.
yes, love it, love it, love it. What is something that you believe about business development today that you didn't believe a year ago?
Wow. I think it's what I said at the start. There's opportunity in every market. You just need to go and find it.
Yeah, beautiful. And last question. So the podcast is called The Rise Factor. What's your rise factor or X factor? What's your Daniel factor?
Daniel factor. Wow. I think just my output and positive attitude. I think there's one thing you can control, Sarah, is your mood and attitude. So always have yourself rising to the occasion.
I love it. I love that you included iconic and my quotes for opportunities and rising to the occasions. Hey, Daniel, thank you so much for dedicating some time out of your day to join me, to join us, to always just being so real, raw, and honest. Again, a big congratulations for everything that you've achieved over the last 12 months. And I look forward to sitting down with you again in another 12 months. I'm sure I'll see you before then anyway, but and holding you
Yeah.
to the things that you've said today. So thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me.
And as always, everyone who is watching, keep rising.